Hi everyone. I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today, I'll teach you how to make the Qipao from Orchid Grace lace dress. This Qipao comes in multiple sizes, and the crocheting method is similar. It's all divided into the hem, the body, the front and back pieces, and the sleeves, joining, collar and accessories parts. Pay attention that the yarn of the finished product is relatively thin. You can all learn the method first, then crochet with the original yarn later. Let's start with the hem. We will start from foundation chain, work back and forth, and join at the end. Several crochet stitches will be applicated. All markings are on the chart. I won't list them all here. Pay attention that the crochet method may vary depending on different sizes. Here, I will demonstrate using the small size as an example. For other sizes, you can learn the method and then refer to the chart to crochet. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Take out the corresponding yarn. Here I use cotton yarn for demonstration. Colors are random. For specific yarn, color schemes, and crochet hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with the foundation chain. Begin by making one slip knot. Then, follow the chart to crochet chain stitches. Mind that it shouldn't be too tight. The number of stitches in the sample swatch is random. That completes the cast on. Move on to crocheting the first row for the small size. Read the chart from left to right. Start with 3 chain stitches as turning chain. This counts as 1 double crochet stitch. Continue with 2 chain stitches for transition. Then, on the 8th chain stitch from the end, pick up the top half loop, and make 1 single crochet stitch. Chain 5. Skip 3 stitches below. Make 1 single crochet stitch. For the rest of this row, work 1 single crochet every 3 stitches apart. Chain 5 as a transition between single crochets. Continue to finish this row. After completing the last single crochet stitch, chain 2. On the left side, skip 1 stitch. Work 1 double crochet stitch on the last chain stitch. The first row is done. The first row for the small size is complete. The first row for the large size uses the same technique as the small size. For the medium size, start reading the chart from right to left. Here I'll demonstrate the crochet technique with a sample swatch. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain for the single crochet. This doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then begin crocheting from the second to last chain stitch. Everyone, remember to match your size's pattern chart while crocheting. There won't be separate demonstrations afterward. Continue with the second row of the small size. Read the chart from right to left. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. This corresponds to the double crochet stitches below. 1 chain for transition. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Work 3 double crochets in the left chain space. Work 1 single crochet in the next chain space. 5 chains. Continue with corresponding single crochets in the 3 chain spaces on the left. Transition with 5 chains in between. After completion, treat the single crochets and the chains in between as a pineapple pattern. For subsequent occurrences of this technique, all are collectively referred to as the pineapple pattern. Work 3 double crochets in the next space. Three chains and 3 double crochets. We will consider these 9 stitches as one pattern A. Alternate crocheting the pineapple pattern and pattern A all the way down. Finish this row. After completing the last pineapple pattern, work 3 double crochets in the ending chain space. One chain. 1 double crochet in the turning chain. Refer to the chart. First locate the first stitch of the turning chain. That is the insertion point for this single crochet, the 3rd stitch on the left side. Count upwards to find the 3rd stitch. Pick up these 2 strands and crochet. Row 2 for the small size is completed. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side. For the medium size, pay attention to the side with clearer texture of the first row, and consider it as the right side. Now crochet the 3rd row. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work. Crochet 1 single crochet into the edge double crochet. Remember that on the wrong side, the stitch is located at the top left. Then make 5 chains. Correspondingly make 3 double crochets into the 3 double crochets on the left side. Next, on the previous row's pineapple pattern, follow the pineapple pattern technique to crochet. That is, make 1 single crochet into the chain space. In between, use 5 chains as a transition. After completing it, on pattern A, pick up the double crochet stitches and correspondingly make 3 double crochets. Then make 5 chains. Crochet 1 single crochet into the middle chain space. Make another 5 chains. Finally, make 3 double crochets into the 3 double crochet stitches on the left side. We will consider the stitch pattern worked on pattern A as one pattern B. Continue crocheting downward, alternating between the pineapple pattern and pattern B. Pay attention to not making any mistakes with the number of single crochets in the pineapple pattern. After completing the last group of pineapple pattern, correspondingly make 3 double crochets into the double crochet stitches. Make 5 chains. Pick up the top 2 strands of the turning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet. Be mindful to locate the third chain stitch. The third row for the small size is completed. Continue with the fourth row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Make 2 chains for transition. Turn the work. Crochet 1 single crochet into the left chain space. Chain 5. Work 1 DC3 tog onto the 3 double crochet stitches. Correspondingly make 3 incomplete double crochets first. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The first stitch is complete. Continue with the second stitch. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, and pull through the first 2 loops. The second stitch is complete. Continue and work 1 more stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The DC3 tog is now completed. Continue crocheting pineapple pattern on the left side pineapple pattern stitch. On pattern B, first correspondingly make 1 DC3 tog on the double crochets. First, match with 3 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops in once. The DC3 tog is now completed. Next, work single crochets into each of the 2 chain spaces on the left side. Both sides have 5 chains for transition. On the left side, 3 double crochets. Work another DC3 tog. We will treat the stitches crocheted in pattern B as one pattern C. Continue alternating between pineapple pattern and pattern C. Finish this row. After completing the last pineapple pattern, crochet 1 DC3 tog. Chain 5. Work 1 single crochet in the ending hole. Chain 2. Work 1 double crochet on the edge single crochet. The 4th row for the small size is done. Move on to the 5th row for the small size. Start with 2 chains as a turning chain. Turn your work. Work 1 double crochet on the corresponding double crochet stitch of the turning chain. Chain 5. Work 1 DC3 bobble in the left chain space. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops once. The DC3 bobble is now completed. In the 3 chain spaces on the left, crochet according to the pineapple pattern technique. Next, in the middle chain space of pattern C, work 1 DC3 bobble, chain 5 as a transition. Consider the stitches worked in the whole as one pattern D. For the rest of this row, alternate crocheting the pineapple pattern and pattern D. After finishing this row, and completing the last pineapple pattern group, work 1 DC3 bobble in the ending chain space. Chain 5. Work 1 DC2 bobble on the turning chain. First, on the top chain of the turning chain, work 2 incomplete double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops once. The DC2 bobble is now completed. The 5th row for the small size is also done. Move on to the 6th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the work. Work 1 single crochet in the first stitch. In the 4 chain spaces on the left side, work 1 single crochet in each. Both sides have a chain of 5 for transition. After completing, in the middle DC3 bobble stitch of pattern D, work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up and working single crochets in these 4 chain spaces. Both sides have a chain of 5 for transition. This row involves working in the chain spaces and in the middle stitch of pattern D. Correspondingly work single crochets with 5 chain stitches as the transition in between. Finish this row. End with a single crochet into the double crochet stitch where the previous row began. The 6th row for the small size is completed. For the following rows, refer to the chart and work back and forth. Rows 7 through 11. The technique is similar to rows 2 through 6, only the patterns are staggered from each other. The beginning and ending stitches need to refer to the chart. Treat the next 10 rows as one sequence and repeat for crocheting. Continue all the way down until the second to last row. Don't cut the yarn at the end. Everyone, please complete it. When everyone finishes row 6, you can measure the dimensions. Use the highest point as a reference. Compare it with the data provided on the chart. If there's a significant difference, you'll need to adjust your tension and crochet again, to avoid affecting the final product size. During the crocheting process, you might encounter situations where the yarn isn't long enough, and you'll need to join the yarn. Here, I'll demonstrate the method using a small sample. Tie the 2 yarn tails together in a knot. Then continue crocheting. Place the knot on the wrong side of the fabric. Finally, weave in the yarn tails along the texture of the backside. This is the method for joining the yarn. Next, I'll demonstrate the last round using a small sample. Start by turning your work and crocheting this row as usual. After completing the last double crochet, work 1 slip stitch into the turning chain. Remember, the right side should be facing outward. The closing slip stitch for the round does not count as 1 stitch. You need to tighten it. That's how you finish the last round. The beginning and end are now joined. We've finished explaining the hem. Next, let's learn about the body. Crochet back and forth in rounds on the hem. The new stitch technique used here is half double crochet. Please watch the demonstration. Continue with the first round of the body using the yarn from the hem. This round is crocheted on the right side. First, turn your work. Work 1 slip stitch into the chain space on the left side for the transition. The oval-shaped slip stitch doesn't need to be tightened. Then, make 3 chains as the turning chain. Work 2 double crochets in the same position. Next, alternate between the pineapple pattern and pattern A. Complete this round. After finishing the last pineapple pattern, in the chain space on the right side of the previous round's turning chain, work 3 double crochets. Work 1 chain stitch. Make 1 half double crochet into the turning chain to join. The first round is complete. Continue with the second round. For this round, you will be crocheting on the wrong side. First, make 1 turning chain. Turn your work. Work 1 single crochet into the hole below. Then, follow the chart for crocheting. For the last stitch, pay attention to working the double crochet into the turning chain. Then work 1 chain stitch. Make 1 double crochet into the first single crochet stitch to join. The second round is complete. Next, crochet the third round. First, make 1 turning chain. Turn your work 1 single crochet into the hole. Then refer to the chart for crocheting. After completing the final single crochet, work 2 chain stitches. Join with 1 double crochet in the starting stitch. The third round is complete. Now move on to the fourth round. First, make 2 turning chains. Turn your work. Work 1 DC2 bobble stitch into the hole below. Continue crocheting based on the pattern chart. End by working a slip stitch into the starting stitch. The fourth round is complete. Next, crochet the fifth round. Start with 1 chain. Turn your work. Work 1 single crochet into the slip stitch position from the previous round. Then continue crocheting and refer to the chart. Finish by joining with a double crochet. The fifth round is complete. For the following rounds, continue crocheting back and forth in rounds. Pay attention to the changes in stitch techniques at the beginning and ending connection points. There's one more thing to keep in mind. For the small size, start from the 15th round. When crocheting each round, mind the changes in the number of chain stitches. For example, for the small size, rounds 17 to 19, pattern B, pattern C and pattern D have 4 chain stitches. The pineapple pattern section still has 5 chain stitches. Round 20 has all 4 chain stitches. In the next round, the number of chain stitches in the pineapple pattern section also changes. For the next pattern sequence, the number of chain stitches in the pattern continues to decrease. By the last few rounds, the chain stitches increase to 4. In the final round at the underarm position, the number of chain stitches and the stitch techniques change. The number of chain stitches for other sizes also changes accordingly. Remember, the middle of pattern A always has 3 chain stitches. When you're crocheting, make sure to pay attention and don't crochet incorrectly. This creates a waist cinching effect on the fabric. There's one more thing to keep in mind. While crocheting the last few rounds, you need to tidy up the fabric and measure the bust. Compare it with the dimensions provided in the chart. If there's a significant difference, you'll need to adjust your tension and recrochet this section. This ensures it fits properly when worn. For the rest of the crocheting, maintain the same tension while working. Note that due to the special pattern, it has a larger stretch. Here, you need to compare it with the dimensions provided in the schematic diagram. After the entire garment is completed, the dimensions may change slightly. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish crocheting the body section. After completing the last round, you need to break the yarn. Here, I'll demonstrate the method with a sample swatch. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Stretch the loop larger. Leave a 5 cm tail, and cut off the yarn. Pull tight. On the wrong side, follow the texture and fasten it off neatly. You can weave in more stitches if you like. That concludes the explanation of the body section. Next, we'll learn about the front and back pieces. Work back and forth in the designated positions on the body section. Start with the front piece. It's divided into the chest piece and shoulder parts. First, crochet back and forth for the chest piece, and decrease stitches on both sides. Quite a few new stitch techniques are used here. I won't list them all individually. Next, I'll continue demonstrating using the chest piece of the small size front piece as an example. For other sizes, you can learn the method and then follow your own size chart to crochet. Please refer to the pattern chart for each size and crochet accordingly. Now, watch the demonstration. First, crochet row 1 of the chest piece of the small size front piece. Here, I'm using a sample swatch for the demonstration. Make sure the right side of the fabric faces out and is tied up. Find the underarm position on the other side. That's the side without the slip stitch marks. In the centered single crochet, join the yarn in the third chain space from the left. You can make a knot. Draw the yarn through. Adjust it a little. The joining of the yarn is now complete. Then, crochet 1 chain stitch. Next, refer to the chart and crochet. Here, crochet pattern A as usual. The number of chain stitches for all other patterns is 4. After completing the last DC3 tog, slip stitch in the chain space on the left side. No need to tighten the oval-shaped slip stitch. The first row is now complete. Continue with the second row. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample swatch. Please refer to the actual project. You'll need to carry the yarn across at the start. Enlarge the loop. Pass the yarn ball or fabric through the loop. Tighten. This way, the loop becomes a single strand. Turn the fabric over. Draw the yarn through. Pay attention to the carrying yarn tension behind the fabric. That completes the carrying of the yarn. This row is crocheted on the wrong side. Start with 4 chain stitches. Work 1 DC3 bobble in the left chain space. Then continue following the pattern chart. After completing the last 4 chain stitches, work 1 DC3 bobble TR tog. Start by working 3 incomplete double crochets in the same chain space. Then, in the adjacent chain space, work 1 incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. The incomplete treble crochet is now done. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The DC3 bobble TR tog is now completed. Row 2 is finished. Move on to row 3. Make 1 chain as your turning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 single crochet into the edge stitch. Then follow the pattern chart for crocheting. End with a single crochet in the edge stitch. Pay attention, do not work into the turning chain. The entry position for the first and last stitches of each row should always refer to the chart. Row 3 is complete. Continue with row 4. Turn your work. Slightly enlarge the loop. Work 1 slip stitch in the starting chain space for a transition. You can also carry the yarn here. Then follow the chart to crochet the corresponding stitches. After finishing with the ending single crochet, row 4 is now finished. For row 5, refer to the chart and turn your work to crochet. Please complete it. Next, I will demonstrate row 6. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Turn your work on the 2 stitches to the left of the 3 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet decrease. First, make 2 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. That completes the double crochet decrease. Continue with 2 chain stitches. Then follow the chart to crochet. After completing DC3 tog at the end, row 6 is now finished. Continue to row 7. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Turn your work. Follow the chart to crochet. After completing the ending 2 chain stitches, work 1 DC3 bobble DC tog. First, work 3 incomplete double crochets into the current chain space. Then, work 1 incomplete double crochet on the edge stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops once. The DC3 bobble DC tog is now complete. For rows 8 to 9, everyone follow the chart to crochet. Pay attention that in row 9, the ending single crochet goes into the turning chain. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample swatch. Starting from the bottom, find the 3rd chain stitch, and insert the hook to crochet. When you encounter a turning chain made of 2 or 4 chain stitches later, make sure to identify the position of the topmost chain stitch in the turning chain. For the following rows, continue crocheting back and forth, follow the chart. In row 15, you will encounter a new stitch at the end. Half double crochet. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample swatch. Simply insert your hook into the corresponding stitch and continue crocheting. The half double crochet is now complete. Continue crocheting while following the chart. Pay attention, for the middle position of the last 2 rows of the chest piece, the stitch pattern will vary slightly. Everyone, be mindful not to crochet incorrectly. This concludes the explanation for the front chest piece of the small size. For other sizes in the chest piece section, you will encounter a new stitch technique, treble crochet. Here, I'll demonstrate the crocheting method using a sample swatch. The position is random. First, work 1 incomplete treble crochet in the corresponding position. Then yarn over and draw through all loops once. The treble crochet is now completed. For the last row of the large size, you will work slip stitches in the middle section. Crochet as usual without tightening the yarn too much. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish crocheting the front chest piece section. Next, let's learn how to crochet the shoulder parts. Here, the shoulder parts are crocheted separately. First, continue with the yarn from the chest piece to crochet 1 shoulder part. Then, join a new yarn, and crochet the other shoulder part. Decrease stitches on the side of the neckline for both. In the last few rows, change the stitch pattern to form the sloping shoulder. The starting side for each size may vary. Here, I will continue to demonstrate using the small size as an example. Start by crocheting the shoulder part connected to the end of the chest piece. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample swatch. Start with 2 chains as the turning chain. Turn your work, refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. after completing the last half double crochet stitch. Leave the remaining part unworked for now. Row 1 is now complete. For the following rows, continue crocheting back and forth. Decrease stitches on the neckline side. Pay attention to the insertion position of the beginning and ending stitches, and refer to the chart. In the last few rows, change the stitch pattern to form the sloping shoulder. At the spots where you need to carry the yarn across, just carry the yarn across using the previous method. Everyone can refer to the chart to complete this section. Finally, break the yarn. Secure with one chain stitch. Pull up the loop to enlarge it. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. This completes one side of the shoulder parts. Continue crocheting the other side of the shoulder parts. Place the completed shoulder part on the right side. Refer to the chart to locate the starting position for row 1. The swatch has fewer stitches. Position is random. Join the yarn. You can make a knot here. Adjust a little. The joining is complete. You can use this method for all subsequent joinings. Follow the chart and crochet back and forth for the rest. Decrease stitches on one side of the neckline. The ending forms a sloping shoulder. After completion, fasten off the yarn as usual. Everyone can now finish it. That concludes the explanation of the shoulder parts. The front piece has also been explained. Next, let's learn about the back piece. It is also divided into the chest piece and the shoulder parts. The crochet method for the chest piece is similar to that of the front piece. Pay attention to the beginning and ending positions so as not to crochet them incorrectly. Leave space in the middle for the underarm area. In the last 2 rows, the stitch pattern changes in the middle part. After completing the chest piece, continue crocheting one side of the shoulder part. Fasten off the yarn at the end, then join the yarn and crochet the other side of the shoulder part. Fasten off the yarn again at the end. The starting side differs depending on the size. Refer to the chart and complete it accordingly. That concludes the explanation of the back piece. Next, let's learn about the sleeves. There are 2 of them. Each sleeve is divided into 2 parts, the sleeve cap and the sleeve body. Start by crocheting the sleeve cap. We will start from foundation chain. Work back and forth. Join the final round together. The new stitch technique used is double crochet increase. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a chain stitch. The number of stitches for the swatch is random. After completion, start crocheting the first row. Begin with 3 chains as the turning chain. Use these 3 chains as a transition. Return and start crocheting from the 7th last stitch, using the corresponding stitch pattern. Pay attention, here the transition chains are 4 chains. Skip 2 stitches next. Make sure not to crochet incorrectly. The ending double crochet should be worked in the same insertion point as the single crochet. Row 1 is now completed. For the following rows 2 through 6, continue crocheting back and forth. Mindful of the beginning and ending stitch techniques, refer to the chart for stitch insertion. Now let me demonstrate row 7. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain, corresponding to the double crochet below. Turn your work, insert into the stitch corresponding to the turning chain. Crochet 1 double crochet. Continue following the pattern chart for crocheting. On the ending turning chain, work 1 double crochet increase. That means work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. The double crochet increase is now completed. Row 7 is also done. For the following rows, continue crocheting back and forth while referring to the chart. Pay attention to the double crochet that comes after the turning chain in some rows. Work it into the adjacent stitch. Do not crochet into the stitch corresponding to the turning chain. Everyone, make sure to complete it. For the small size, you need to increase stitches under the arm in the last round. Here, I'll demonstrate the technique with a sample swatch. Start following the chart for the final round. After completing the last double crochet, crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches. Then slip stitch into the turning chain. The last round for the small size is now completed. We will take the side with the clearer texture of the last row as the right side of the fabric piece. Here, you can compare it with the armhole positions of the front and back pieces. They should roughly match up. If there is a significant difference, you can adjust your tension and recrochet the last few rows. This is the crochet method for the small size sleeve cap. For other sizes, the beginning part of the sleeve cap is basically identical to the corresponding position of the small size. For the last few rows, continue to increase stitches on both sides by changing stitch patterns. Here, I'll demonstrate the last 2 rows. On the second to last row, start with 8 chain stitches. Then, from the second to last stitch, pick up the top half loop above, and correspondingly make 5 slip stitches. Follow with 4 chain stitches. Turn your work over. Then refer to the pattern chart for crocheting. After completing the ending double crochet, make 7 chain stitches. The second to last row is now complete. Next, work the final round. Start with 4 chain stitches. Then make 1 single crochet into the 7th chain stitch from the end. Skip 1 stitch and correspondingly make 3 double crochets. Continue to crochet while referring to the pattern chart. For the ending, make 3 double crochets into the 3 slip stitches on the left side. You can pick up the braid of the slip stitches to crochet. Continue with 4 chain stitches. Skip 1 stitch. Make 1 single crochet into the slip stitch on the left side. Then work 4 chain stitches and 1 double crochet. Finally, at the beginning position, slip stitch into the ending chain of the previous row. This is the 5th stitch to the right of the single crochet. Pay attention, for the final round, the textured right side should face outward. The last round is now completed. That concludes the explanation of the sleeve cap for all sizes. Next, we will learn how to crochet the sleeve body. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise around the sleeve cap. You will need to switch colors during the process. The new stitch techniques used are CH5SL picket stitch and CH3SL picket stitch. Please watch the demonstration. First, crochet the first round. Here, I will continue demonstrating using the small size as an example. The method for other sizes is almost identical. Once you've learned the technique, refer to the chart to crochet. Start with 1 chain as your turning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet into the slip stitch position below. Then, follow the chart to pick up the chain spaces and the corresponding stitches. To crochet the corresponding stitch techniques, after completing the single crochet in the last row's ending chain space, chain 3. Work 1 single crochet on the double crochet, chain 3 again. Continue by crocheting 1 single crochet every 2 stitches apart. Use 3 chains as a transition between them. Pick the top loop of the chains and crochet accordingly. Finish with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet stitch. The first round is now complete. Continue to crochet the second round. For the small size for aesthetic purposes, place the slip stitch mark in the middle of the underarm position. First, carry the yarn to the 3rd chain space on the right side. For other sizes, slip stitch into the left chain space for a transition. Then make 3 chains as your turning chain. Crochet 1 DC2 bobble stitch in the same position. Weave the carried yarn together into the stitches. Continue to follow the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Finally, finish with a slip stitch in the starting stitch. The second round is now complete. For the following rounds 3 through 14, continue crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. Pay attention, for some rounds, you need to start in the left chain space or on the left stitch. Work one slip stitch for a transition. Then crochet the corresponding stitches in the slip stitch position. For the middle section, refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding stitch patterns. Mind the number of double crochets and their insertion points to avoid mistakes. At the end of round 12, work a single crochet to join. Everyone, follow the chart to complete it. In round 15, you will encounter a new stitch technique. CH5SL picket stitch. Please watch the demonstration for the specific method. Here, I'll demonstrate the stitch using a small sample. The placement is random. After finishing the double crochets below, crochet a CH5SL picket stitch. Start by crocheting 5 chain stitches. Then pick up the front loop of the stitch below. That is, the strand of yarn closest to you, and the one strand from below. Work one slip stitch. Slightly tighten it. The CH5SL picket stitch is now completed. This is how you crochet a CH5SL picket stitch. In round 16 coming up, when crocheting onto the picket stitch, simply insert your hook into its hole and work the stitch. Continue crocheting in rounds afterward. Break the yarn after completing the second to last round. Make sure you finish it up. Next, I'll demonstrate the last round with a sample swatch. Join the yarn at the slip stitch position from the previous round. Chain 1 as the turning chain. Work one single crochet in the same stitch. You can weave in the ends together. Work 2 single crochets into the left chain space. For a CH3SL picket stitch, start by chaining 3. Then pick up the front loop of the stitch below. And also pick up one strand from below. Work one slip stitch. Gently tighten it slightly. The picket of 3 chains is now completed. Correspondingly work 2 single crochets into the left stitch. Work one single crochet into the left chain space. For a CH3SL picket stitch, start by chaining 3. Pick up the front loop of the stitch below, and one strand of yarn from underneath. Work one slip stitch. The picket of 3 chains is now completed. Work one more single crochet into the same space. We will consider the stitches we just crocheted as one group. Repeat this group of stitches for the rest of the sequence. Complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Break the yarn. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. You can weave in a few more stitches if needed. That concludes the explanation for crocheting the sleeve body. Next, we'll learn how to join the pieces together. There are 3 positions in total. Start by joining the shoulder parts of the front and back pieces. Place the front and back pieces right sides together. Match up the shoulder positions. Insert the hook into the corresponding shoulder positions from the wrong side. Work a single crochet. Use 3 chain stitches as a transition between them. The exact number of chains can be adjusted according to your preference. Refer to the chart to confirm the first stitch at the edge of the joining position. You can start by identifying the beginning and ending positions. Use a stitch marker to roughly secure them in place. Then join the pieces by matching up the corresponding positions. As you crochet, mindfully wrap the carried yarn together into the stitches. For specific joining methods, you can refer to the demonstration in the video below. You may also join according to your own habits. As long as the fabric joins smoothly and looks nice, that's fine. Take the right front piece as an example. Note, the left and right front refer to the actual left and right when wearing. Place the right front piece and back piece with right sides facing each other. The wrong sides should be on the outside. You can start joining from either side. Overlap and align the shoulder areas. This swatch is the back piece. This one is the right front piece. Let's start from the edge here. Keep joining until you reach this double crochet position. On the back piece, this is where the double crochet position is. Insert the hook into a few strands of yarn at the edges of both fabric pieces. Join the yarn. Work one chain. Work one single crochet at the joining place. Then work 2-3 chains. I'm working 3 chains here. Leave a small distance. Insert the hook into a few strands of yarn at the edge of the fabric piece. Continue with one single crochet. This distance is roughly the same as the length of the chains. Make sure the fabric piece doesn't shrink after completing it. And also, when you encounter the carried yarn, wrap the carried yarn into the stitches. Joining is done by alternating one single crochet and 2-3 chains. Complete the joining for this edge. After completing, cut the yarn. Once the shoulders are joined, move on to join the sleeves next. Match the last round of the sleeve cap at the underarm's middle position with the corresponding middle position of the front and back pieces that form the underarm. Note that joining should be done on the wrong side. You can use a stitch marker to secure it in place. Match the middle position of the starting point of the sleeve cap with the corresponding shoulder seam position. Find a few more points in the middle and fix them evenly. Then pick up the edge at the connecting point to join together. For the underarm area of the front and back pieces, insert the hook into the stitch or chain space at the underarm position of the sleeve cap. There are chains for small size. Simply insert the hook into the corresponding chain spaces. For other sizes, pick up a suitable position on the edge of the last few rows to insert the hook. For the side edges, pick up one edge stitch to insert the hook. Adjust the insertion position according to the actual situation. Ensure that the fabric pieces align evenly. The method is similar to the shoulder joining technique. The side seam joining here can refer to the demonstration in the video below. After you've learned the method, complete the joining. Next, I will demonstrate how to join two fabric pieces using single crochets and chains. Place the two pieces with right sides facing each other and wrong sides outward. Overlap them properly. Then insert the hook into the starting chain at both corner positions. Join the yarn. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then chain for transition. The number of chains depends on the chart. Here, work 3 chains. Next, insert the hook into the position on the left side. Pay attention to insert through both fabric pieces at the same time. Work 1 single crochet. Then chain for transition again. And insert through both fabric pieces simultaneously. Work a single crochet. Continue with chains and single crochets. Make sure both fabric pieces are aligned properly. Avoid any misalignment. The insertion point for the single crochet is not fixed, as long as while crocheting, you keep the piece flat. Continue to complete the edge connection. Once done, fasten off the yarn. This way, the edge is completely joined. This is what the effect looks like from the right side. Finally, join the hem edges together. You can refer to the markings on the schematic diagram here. Leave space for the fork in the hem. Join the top part of the hem together. The exact length of the fork. You can try it on and decide, based on your preference. Mark the position. Then proceed as, when attaching the sleeves, use the fabric edge joining method to attach. Everyone complete it. That concludes the explanation of the joining method. Next, let's learn about the collar. Crochet back and forth at the neckline positions of the front and back pieces. You will need to switch colors during the process. The new stitch used here is single crochet decrease. Watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet technique. Start with the first row. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample swatch. Make sure the right side of the fabric faces out. Find the middle stitch of the neckline on the front piece. Here, I'll continue demonstrating using the small size as an example. Join the yarn at the stitch. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Chain 1 as a transition. Now, refer to the chart. Correspondingly work double crochets into the chain spaces, or stitch positions along the edge. Work 1 chain stitch for transition in between. The insertion points are random in this sample. When crocheting at the joining position, just crochet around the approximate location. If you encounter yarn tails, you can weave them in as you go. Pay attention, when you reach the corner of the back piece, you need to make a double crochet decrease. On the other corner, crochet the double crochet decrease using the same method. Continue making double crochets. Don't forget to add the transition chain stitches. For the last double crochet, crochet it at the joining position. The first row is now complete. You can refer to the chart to check the number of holes. It should be an even number. For the next row, turn your work and pick up stitches and chain spaces to work single crochets correspondingly. At the end, fasten off the yarn. Everyone, please complete this part. For row 3, join the yarn on the right side of the front. Make one turning chain. Start from the yarn joining position, and correspondingly make single crochets. Finish crocheting this row. After completing, fasten off the yarn. Row 3 is now done. Move on to row 4. Continue by joining the yarn on the right side of the front. Make one turning chain. At the joining position and the left stitch, work one single crochet decrease. First, correspondingly make 2 incomplete single crochets. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The first stitch is completed. Continue with the second stitch. Insert into the left stitch. Draw the yarn through. The second stitch is done. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The single crochet decrease is now complete. The braid on the upper right represents the stitches. Then, make one chain stitch. Work one single crochet decrease across the next 2 stitches on the left. First, work 2 incomplete single crochets correspondingly. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops once. The single crochet decrease is now complete. Then make one chain stitch. For the rest of this row, continue with corresponding single crochet decreases. In between, use one chain stitch as a transition. Repeat this process to finish the entire row. After completing the last chain stitch, work one single crochet into the ending stitch. Row 4 is now complete. Continue with row 5. Start with one chain stitch as the turning chain. Turn your work over. At the edge stitch and chain space position, work one single crochet decrease. Note that this space is smaller, so make sure not to go through the wrong spot. Chain 1. Continue to the next stitch and chain space. And correspondingly work a single crochet decrease. Chain 1. Pick up the stitches and spaces, working a single crochet decrease correspondingly. Use one chain stitch as a transition between them. Complete this row. After finishing with the last chain stitch, work 1 single crochet into the ending stitch. Row 5 is now completed. For rows 6 to 7, simply crochet back and forth using the same method as row 5. Everyone, go ahead and finish it. Now, let's work on row 8. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. Turn your work, skip the edge single crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet into the left chain space. Then, follow the method from row 5 and work corresponding single crochet decreases. Use 1 chain stitch as a transition between them. After completing the last single crochet decrease, work 1 single crochet into the edge stitch. In this row, 1 stitch has been decreased at both the beginning and the end. Row 8 is now complete. For the last few rows, you will be crocheting back and forth, and decrease stitches at both the beginning and the end of each row. This will create the curve. Note that in some rows, only 1 stitch is decreased at the beginning and end. In other rows, 2 stitches will be decreased. The stitch techniques and insertion positions for the beginning and ending are important. Refer to the pattern chart for guidance. The sample swatch omits the middle part for simplicity. Please follow the chart to complete row 16. Fasten off the yarn at the end. Next, I'll demonstrate row 17 using a sample swatch. Join the yarn at the joining position on the right side of the first row. Start with 1 chain as your turning chain. Then work 3 single crochets into the first row's turning chain on the left side. Continue working single crochets along the edges of each row downward. You can pick up the holes between rows here. Refer to the chart for specific stitch insertion points. Adjust according to the actual situation if necessary. Just ensure that the fabric remains flat and looks neat. On the last row, pick up the stitches and chain spaces correspondingly and work single crochets. Continue crocheting along the edges using the same method as before. Work 3 single crochets on the side of the first row. Then make 1 slip stitch at the yarn joining position. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. That concludes the explanation for the collar. Finally, let's learn about accessories. This includes the hem edging, the front band, and the Chinese frog parts. Let's start with crocheting the hem edging. Below the attachment point of the hem, work 1 round along the edge of the hem and the starting chain. Please watch as I demonstrate the exact crochet method. Here, I'll use a swatch for demonstration. On the rightmost chain of the starting chain. For small sizes, at the single crochet stitch here, on the second chain from the right. Join the yarn by picking up 2 strands. For other sizes, remember to refer to the chart for stitch placement. Chain 1 to start. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then refer to the chart and follow the pattern to crochet single crochets and ch3sl picket stitch. After completing the starting chain section, you can add one extra single crochet at the corner position for a smoother transition. Adjust the insertion point for the single crochets on the side edges, based on the actual situation, ensuring the fabric piece is flat and visually appealing. When you reach the joining position, for a more attractive finish, you can work one single crochet decrease. The sample swatch does not include the joining here, but in practice, you can insert the hook at appropriate positions on both sides. This ensures the side edges don't puff out. Continue picking up stitches on the other side and working single crochets. Finish with a slip stitch, then break the yarn. Weave in the yarn tails. That completes the hem edging. Next, let's work on the front band. Crochet back and forth at the appropriate position on the front piece. Before starting, determine the direction of the front band first. You can refer to the finished product for guidance. Use a water-soluble pen to mark a point slightly left of the center of the neckline, down to where the hem splits. Draw a curve there. This curve corresponds to the position where the color change occurs along the edge of the front band. You can try it on to check the fit. Determine the curve based on your preference. On the actual project, it's about 4 centimeters from the underarm. The line is approximately 4 centimeters away from the edge. The curve at the bottom gets closer and closer to the edge. The narrowest point is about 1.5 centimeters. At the end, gradually approach the split position. If you want to redraw it, you can wipe it gently with a wet tissue. Let it dry before drawing again. After confirming the curve, next, we'll start crocheting. Please watch the demonstration. Here, I will demonstrate using a small sample. The line is random. Some positions are omitted. Everyone, please note that the actual project should be taken as the standard. On the right side of the front piece, join the yarn in the first row's chain space on the right side of the neckline middle. Here, you can join the yarn in this double crochet stitch. Make one chain as your turning chain. Pick up the double crochet and work one single crochet. Chain 1. Next, along about 1 centimeter under the marked line, pick up strands and work single crochets. Use one chain stitch as a transition between them. In this sample, the yarn is thicker. The intervals are slightly larger. If you're afraid of making a mistake, you can follow the marked line and draw another line about 1 centimeter below it. Pay attention to keeping the arc identical. There's no specific requirement for the single crochet insertion point. After finishing, the piece should lay flat and look nice. Just make sure the arc matches the curve. When crocheting, you can set the fabric in the correct position. Fold it. and pick up from the fold position. Crochet along the edge threads. Once you reach the hem position, crochet about 1 centimeter inside along the edge. After completing the last single crochet stitch, the row 1 is completed. For the following rows 2 to 3, refer to the chart and work back and forth. The method is similar to the collar section. Pay attention to the ending of row 2. Finish at the third to last single crochet. Leave the remaining part unworked. The front band should reach the left edge of the collar perfectly. For row 4, join the yarn on the right side. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. After completion, fasten off the yarn. Everyone, follow the chart to finish it. Next, I will demonstrate the last row. Join the yarn on the rightmost stitch of the front side, mindful that the yarn should be placed behind the front piece. Lay the front band flat upward. Align it with the previously marked lines. Pull through both the stitch and the corresponding position below to draw the loop through. Pick up stitches and slip stitch them evenly. Make sure to insert into the corresponding position of the front piece at the same time. Be mindful not to tighten the slip stitch too much. Ensure the fabric stays flat. Adjust as you crochet the edge. The swatch omits some positions here for simplicity. Now we reach the hem edging section. When crocheting, make sure to insert through the single crochet stitch of the edging simultaneously. Slip stitch them together. Join the front band to the corresponding edging position. Here, since the stitches are not perfectly matched, Adjust the stitch insertion based on the actual situation. Just ensure the connection looks neat. After completing everything, fasten off the yarn. Hide all the yarn tails on the wrong side following the texture. That concludes the explanation of the front band. Finally, let's learn about the Chinese frogs. There are a total of 9 pairs. 1 pair is located below the collar. 2 pairs are placed at the chest piece position, mindful that the distance should be closer. Roughly 1 pair corresponds under the arm. One pair is located at the bottom fork position. The remaining pairs are evenly distributed. You can also adjust the specific positions according to your preference. Each pair of Chinese frogs consists of 2 pipa knots. When laid flat, the pipa knot on the right side needs to have a button attached. For a single pipa knot, start by crocheting the cord, then assemble them together. Please refer to the chart for the exact length of the cord. Leave a yarn tail that's a bit more than 4 times the length of the cord. After finishing the cord, remember to leave a 30 cm yarn tail for sewing. Please watch the demonstration for the method of crocheting the cord. Next, I will demonstrate how to crochet the yarn over chain stitches. Leave a yarn tail about 3 times the required length of the cord ahead of time. Hold the yarn with the left hand. The reserve tail should be underneath. Start with a knot. Then place the reserved yarn from front to back over the crochet hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through the yarn over and the loop on the hook. The first stitch is complete. Place the yarn tail below from front to back over the crochet hook again. Continue crocheting. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Repeat the process of yarn over and crocheting. Once you've reached the desired length, leave the yarn tail, break the yarn. If you need to sew, leave the tails a bit longer. This method can also be used to crochet a double-colored rope. Hold 2 strands of yarn with your left hand. They are color 1 and color 2. Wrap the crochet hook counterclockwise around once, then pull through one of the strands held by your left hand. Tighten the slip knot for casting on. Tidy up the yarn tails. Hold the yarn of color 1 with your left hand. Place the yarn of color 2 on the hook from front to back. Start crocheting chain stitches. After completing the required length, break the yarn. This is the method for crocheting a double-colored rope. Once the cord is completed. Next, assemble the Chinese frog. Here, I'll demonstrate using the side with the button as an example. First, thread the yarn tail into the needle. Make sure the needle can pass through the button. Thread it through a button. Fold the cord in neatly by about 1 centimeter. Use one strand of yarn to sew and secure it. Tie a knot. Remove the needle. Next, place the button on top. Wrap the cord around once below the button, placing it on the left side of the button. Form a loop about 3 centimeters long underneath. Ensure the side with the braid-like texture faces outward as much as possible. Then wrap the cord around the back of the button. Make sure to cover the seam. Pay attention to wrapping it tightly. Form a cross with the thread in front. Pinch the crossing point. Wrap the rope counterclockwise close to the previous loop. Wrap it around once. Place it below the previous thread. Mind that these two loops stay tight against each other. Now just repeat the previous steps. Go around the button. Cross over. Continue wrapping in a circle. You need to wrap a total of 4 circles. After completing the final cross, thread it through the hole below to the wrong side. Tidy up the yarn if the cord length is insufficient or too long. You may need to adjust the tension and rewrap the circles, or adjust the cord length according to the actual situation. Use the reserved yarn to secure the remaining cord on the wrong side. After completion, the Chinese frog will be about 4 centimeters long. This completes the half of the Chinese frog with the button. Make the other half without the button using the same method. Just don't thread it through a button. Everyone can now complete it. After the Chinese frog is done, it's time to sew it onto the proper position. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample swatch. Sew the Chinese frog onto the neckline position. The placement can be random. The final sewing position should prioritize comfort and aesthetics when worn. Use the reserved yarn to secure it along the edge. Pay attention to keeping the cord below neatly secured. If one yarn tail isn't enough, you can continue securing with another yarn tail. After everything is securely fixed, tie a knot on the wrong side, and weave in the ends. Make sure all other tails are also woven in. The method for securing the other Chinese frog is identical. Finally, fasten the button when you're done. That concludes the explanation of how to make the Chinese frog. The accessories have also been explained. Up to this point, the entire top has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.